Republican outrage is unfolding on stage as two protesters interrupt New York's performance of Julius Caesar last night, which depicts the murder of Donald Trump.
Yeah, it was a Republican that did that. So why hasn't the left put a stop to this?
Chuck Woolery is a longtime game show host and co-host of the Blunt Force Truth podcast, and he joins us now. Good to have you here, Chuck.
Well, it's nice to be with you this morning, and Hollywood's at it again. It's just amazing. I mean, one person stands up and, that's supposed to be conservative Republican, and all of a sudden there's outrage every place because they protest.
You know, obviously, Chuck, with the shooting, only one person, as Pete mentioned earlier, pulled that trigger. But you think about these incidents that have been happening, whether it's Kathy Griffith with the beheading, the Shakespeare in the park, the shooting. Does Hollywood and the left, do they need to do more to step up and say, this is not okay. This is not okay for Democrats, for Republicans, for this nation. This is not okay.
Well, Hollywood doesn't have a voice. It just has voices within Hollywood. And Alec Baldwin said what Kathy Griffin did was perfectly fine. Bill Maher does what he does and gets criticized by a couple of people, and he's fine. The left, the hypocrisy of the left through Hollywood's eyes and through the eyes of our political system as well is just so rampant. It's like hard to get your head around it. So they can do things that we as conservatives cannot do. But here's something that's happening that's a little interesting now is that the Democrats and the Republicans are not loyal opposition anymore. The Democrats now say, we're the resistance. So they're using a military term. I don't want to overblow this, but they're using a military term from the Second World War against the Nazis that the French use and within Germany certain people use and Europeans use as well. So they see themselves as resisting Trump and resisting Republicans. When in fact, what this is all about with Robert Mueller, listen, all 16 of those Republicans couldn't take Trump out. Hillary Clinton couldn't take Trump out. Nobody else the media hasn't been able to take Trump out. So now it's Robert Mueller's job to finally take him out as special counsel or special prosecutor. So everything in the world is about taking out Donald Trump and putting him on the sideline because Hollywood and Washington and the establishment cannot stand the fact that he may shed light on the fact of how incompetent they are.
Well, of course,
and that's what he will do.
Of course,
I'll give you an example. Y2K came up. That was 17 years ago. He just shut it down last week.
They're still researching
on something
Y2K.
that was solved 17 years ago.
My mom still thought they had a
problem.
water in the basement from that too. Everyone thought, but 17 years later, I think we've resolved that. But it started from day one. It was boycotting the inauguration. Then the next day, it was the Women's March, and the rhetoric was hot from minute one. You'll remember Madonna, what she said she wanted to do to the White House at the beginning. Take a listen.
Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
To your point, Chuck, Tea Party members were called radical when they peacefully protested and then picked up their trash after they protested. You've got resistors fighting police, clashing with people, talking about blowing up the White House, yet they get a free pass from this media.
Well, Mickey Rourke said he wanted to beat him with a bat. So, yeah, the problem is there's absolutely no accountability for anything that people say in Hollywood, especially because it's like, who in their right mind would think that she was serious about burning down the White House? Who in their right mind would think about Mickey Rourke talking about beating the president with a baseball bat?
It's Hollywood. It's
Who in their right mind would do this? The problem is they're speaking to people who are not in their right mind, and they're going to do things based on what those people say, and the people who said them will never be held accountable.
Chuck, just quickly,
that simple.
Let's talk about that Hollywood bubble. I lived out in L.A., Hollywood adjacent, if you will. It is a different world. Just quickly.
It is.
What are your thoughts?
Well, it is. It's very insular. It's very much like Washington, as a matter of fact. It's a bubble. And it is true. It's why they have so much in common.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
It's a bubble swamp.
It is. It's just a bubble that everybody lives in, everybody works in. It's very small. It's a small knit community. Producers run it. Actors follow everything the producer and directors tell them to do.
Sounds like this
and
place.
they're all, they're all very, very wealthy, and they have 5 people working for them and telling them what to do. But
Yeah.
And that's not everybody,
Sure,
but
sure.
there's a lot of people who are like that. They manage your time when you're out there. If you're a Hollywood star, your time is managed.
We have to
you don't
listen
have much to yourself.
We have to listen to our producers managing our time. They want us to go. Chuck, thank you very much.
It's
Thanks,
about
Chuck.
time.
We appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Chuck. Good to see you.